you confirm that you can hear the board meeting? Or Willie, you confirm?
I can hear you, Tim.
The time,
Thank you, Rebecca.
the time is 2 o'clock and we're gonna get started. So I'll start off with my introduction. Ani Nindaway Maganadug, Niji Dikanu Indaway Maganag, Ningi Miguchawendan in the Wakaman Yungam, Nisquagami we Zagai Gunning Dikanu excuse me, Amadui Gamig. Abatababuni Jesus Nungam. Ashinish Waso Ganagizid. Was I want to put Nindigo. Nicole in addition class. Ugishiki Menesina Durem. Nisqua Gamini Zagai Ganin and Dujaba. Obashing and Dujaba. Oga Kanin in Yi under this. Oga Kanin and the Nungam. Nimidana Ashinanan and Dasto Babunadis. Me you meet which is in the real. Thank you, Gwitch, for listening to my introduction, and me, Gwitch, Miss Sharon Kingbird for the opening ceremony smudge. Would like to move on to item 2, call to order. Board member roll call. Tina Stately, could you please? Nicole, Charlie, Omindia, Chris Jordan.
Here.
Tina Stately here, Mike Barrett,
Here.
Bob Pemberton,
Here.
Douglas Charlie, Tom Barrett,
Here.
and Lutz.
Monday,
Item 3, 2024 Board Reorganization. 3A, election of a board chairperson. Do we have a motion? To nominate a board member as board chair. I'll nominate Mike. Superintendent Lutz, could we nominate ourselves?
Mhm.
And I will nominate Nicole Desjardins.
But before we do that, we need a second for each vote. So a nomination, so you nominated, I think, Mike, we have to ask for a second.
Oh. Do we have a second for that nomination?
Then if there's a second, do we vote on the just to have the person on the ballot?
We would eventually, but we wouldn't have to vote to get them on. There's a motion and a second, and then you ask if there are any other nominations, motion and a second. Any other nominations? Any other nominations? We close nominations. We have 2, we have 3. Let's take a vote.
Do we have a second?
All second from Mike.
Do we have any other nominations? Yes, I'll nominate Nicole Desjardins. Do we have a second? We have 2 nominations. Do we have any other nominations?
Hey, Chris Jordan.
Do we have a second?
I'll second it on Chris.
Have any other further nominations? Yeah, 3. Okay, so with that being said, we go around and we go through the first one. Okay, so we have a motion for Michael Barrett as the school board chairperson. All those in favor, please say, because we have a second. So now do we take a vote?
You would say aye, or you could say raise your hand, so you can make sure you count. Either
Okay.
way.
So all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
3, 4,
Three,
4, 4.
four.
And then do we move on to the next one? Or how do we go about that?
Well, we could, for formality's sake, but really, since we already have a majority, you know, you can't vote twice, so we had a majority for Mike as chair.
On to the next election then.
So at this point,
So then
Mike is the
takes
chair
over
and
then.
Mike takes over, yeah.
Election of, board vice chairperson.
Nominate Tina. Stately, Tina Stately.
Tina? Second on.
I'll second it.
Are there any other nominations for vice chairperson?
I nominate Chris.
A second.
Okay, are there any other nominations for vice chairperson? Are there any other nominations for vice chairperson? Are there any other nominations for vice chairperson? Hearing none, we'll take a vote. All those in favor of Tina as vice chairperson, say aye or raise your hand or.
Aye.
Right. Three. Okay, all those in favor of Chris as vice chairperson? Raise your hand.
Aye.
Two, you voting Chris? No? Okay, being that Tina has the majority, then Tina is the vice chairperson.
Matrix.
Okay, do we have any nominations for election of board clerk?
Nominate Nicole.
Second.
I nominate Jack DeJarle.
I'll second that. Are there any other nominations for board clerk? Are there any other nominations for board clerk? Any other nominations for board clerk? Hearing none, we'll close. All those in favor of Nicole as board clerk, please raise your hand.
Aye.
Aye. Okay then. Aye. That,
All-
that 5? Did you vote?
3, isn't it?
Did you vote, Mike?
No, I didn't vote.
I think there's not four.
Or are you voting no then?
I didn't vote. I didn't vote.
Oh, but you still get the vote.
Yeah, no, I'm not voting yet.
Oh. So you weren't voting on mine then?
Well, no, not yet.
Okay.
Well, we got 4. This is for Nicole, right?
5, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
5?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Tina, Rob, Nicole,
Chris.
myself, and Chris.
Okay. Okay,
But not you and
5
Jack.
then. 5. Okay. Nicole will be clerk. Okay, election of board treasurer.
Nominate Chris Jordan.
Second. I nominate Jack DeJarmy.
Second.
Are there any other nominations for board treasurer? Are there any other nominations for board treasurer? Are there any other nominations for board treasurer? Hearing none, we'll close the nomination. We have Chris and Jack. Okay, all those in favor of Chris Jordan as treasurer, please raise your hand.
Aye.
Four. Okay, that's the majority then, right? I mean, so. Hey, Chris Jordan. is treasurer. Okay, set dates and times for regular board meetings. All times are Wednesday, usually third Wednesday of the month, 2:00 PM. Leave that or?
Yeah, what about you? You have to leave every day for pick up kids at 3.
Yeah. I mean, I was thinking of an earlier time too, but. I mean, it's up to you guys.
I'd like to suggest a later time.
A later time, like,
Something that will get us all here, because we've been struggling for a year with getting people here. So I'm gonna ask, what do you guys think? What's something that we can all make it on?
What happens when sports go on, like we have it at 4 or 5 and you gotta leave on a away game,
So there's no,
huh?
there's no Wednesday game,
No?
no? Church time.
yeah, that's right.
So then it would be, you would interfere with practice, it would interfere with, I pick up a kid
You
too.
gotta have practice on Wednesdays
Mhm,
of 5.
mhm.
How about you, Tom? What time will work for you? Where you don't, activities going on over there?
Well, mine's a personal reason because I got kids in different areas, I got kids in elementary, middle school and high school and daycare, so earlier would work for me.
Yeah,
But,
I'd like the earlier time too, like
if we-
1,
Yeah, but
you know.
if it has to be later, like Chris suggested, then it's on me to make it work. But for me, earlier it works better.
Yeah, 1 o'clock could work for me. How about you, Tina?
Anytime.
Jack, 1?
Third Wednesday.
Sure.
Third Wednesday, 1:00, except we'll just change the time, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean,
All right, I'll move to approve 1 o'clock,
okay.
same day, right?
Third Wednesday of every month.
Do we have a second then?
Ready?
Jack? Okay. So board meetings, will be at 1 PM, the third Wednesday of the month. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, set board member compensation. Current rate 18 a year, each plus benefits.
Move to approve.
Second.
Chris? Further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Designation of district legal counsel. Kennedy and Graven.
Yep, we've been happy with them. They've served us well, so. Recommend you stay with them.
I'll move.
Okay, written by Tom,
I'll second it.
second by Pemmican. To approve. Kennedy Graven district legal.
Are they, is she on then every meeting? Is she, or just,
Nope, it usually doesn't need to be on, and that would be costly if she would bill us for that, but we do call her. I would say a couple times a month, just to go over issues and make sure we're on the right page and.
so is it a retainer or is it a month hourly?
Mostly based on hourly, I don't believe it's a routine, I
Really?
could be wrong on that, but.
That'd be good to know before we do this, you know what I mean?
It's a retainer, isn't
It
Doesn't
probably
it have
is.
all that information in your board packet?
Yeah, it should be in there, actually.
it? Oh, is it?
Yes, Mike, you're one of them that just
Yeah,
last one to pick
yeah.
up your board packets
Yeah,
before the board meeting.
Okay. Okay, then, so that's, we're gonna leave it at Kennedy Graven?
Our recommendation, if there's a, yep,
Yeah. Okay. Okay, all those in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Designation of corporate certificate of authority.
and here's where you authorize myself as superintendent and, William Larson, a business manager, and our school board treasurer to do transactions with banking and Minnesota School District Liquid Asset Fund and so on and so forth, so. To handle whatever transactions need to be done to keep the district paying its bills. In this case, it would be me and Willie Larson and Chris Jordan.
You mean Mike Barrett?
No.
Treasurer.
Oh, treasurer,
Yep.
okay.
I'll make a motion.
Okay, a motion by Rob,
A second.
second by Tina. Approve. Member authority as stated. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Designation of official newspaper to designate Bemidji Pioneer as official publication of the school district.
So what does that mean?
Yeah, what does this mean here?
Generally,
Legal stuff, right? I mean,
Oh.
pretty much stuff.
Yep.
We already,
Yeah, I'm just separate, I mean.
oh, really?
Yeah, yeah, they're just, they handle like all the legal.
yep,
Right.
legal notices,
Yeah.
so
Do
minutes,
they still do a print? I thought they weren't doing paper anymore.
they do
It's all online.
twice a week, I believe, Chris.
Wednesdays and Sundays.
Oh, okay.
Is there a reason we don't have this in the designation paper?
I think is it because of, the pioneers is,
More circulated.
I think that's the reason that the circulation reach of the Pioneer.
Gotta pay him anything?
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
it's in our board packet. Sorry, guys.
And
Yep.
sometimes I think they'll use like for jobs, I know they've used the Tribune. I know for some of the job stuff. I'll move on this week.
Okay.
Okay, a motion by Barrett, second by Chris, to designate Pioneer official location. All those in favor say aye.
I,
Opposed? Board committee assignment.
For this, I've got a list of who's been on the committee, so we can go down one at a time. So like for American Indian Parent and Community Advisory Committee. This past year has been Nicole and Keith. So basically, the question is, do you want to stay on it and then, or do you want to get off of it, or does anybody else want to go on?
want to stay on. But,
They keep it the same.
I want to,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's the quickest and most suitable way to stay the same.
except let's change the high school league. I'd like to be on there rather than someone else.
You already have three on policy.
I think they're asking us have them stay the same as last year.
Yeah, I'm on policy. Jack,
Some are, yeah, some are non-certified, some are.
Would you like to be on there, Tom?
But there's already three, then. we could-
And,
One to three.
yep, and Nicole, you're already on the state, you were on.
Okay,
the-
good.
So you're good,
I thought it wasn't because
Yeah.
there was already two, right?
right? Some have three. Just can't have more than three and you have a quorum. So yeah, if we keep everything the same, then we're good.
So then does the board members, give reports to the board after these committee meetings?
Yep. And many of these committees either don't necessarily need to meet, even during the whole year, like the curriculum committee may go a whole year without meeting. If there's no curriculum cycle to vote on. Others maybe meet only as
yeah,
needed.
that happens quite a bit, cause all the ones I've been on the last 3 years, you know.
Same with
I never got no
negotiations.
Email or,
Yep, negotiations, if we're not negotiating, you don't need to meet. Others may meet 3 times a year, others may
Yeah.
meet just as needed, like, the policy committee based on what we need. So.
And then at any time too, I'm pretty sure that, I mean, if someone wants to go to another committee, I mean, they can, right?
Yep,
I mean,
even during the year, we can always
Yeah.
change that, yep. So we just need a motion
Does he move?
to keep it.
I didn't know.
No, I'll move to
Okay.
approve. As is.
Chris,
Or for on these committees, can you get us
I'll
a
get you,
schedule, a time and people that are on these committees?
we'll work with Sherry and Willie on, and Dustin keeps track too, so we'll get a schedule and a list for you.
Nobody ever calls us for meetings.
I'll second it. To approve the board committee. Okay, we'll vote on this here then, approve it. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Okay. Overview,
Thank you. Chairman. After our allotted time for public comments and delegations, we will review the latest enrollment report, followed by the by finance reports. After that, we will move into the consent agenda, including approving the minutes from the December 20th, 2023 regular board meeting. The board will then be asked in the consent agenda to authorize submission of the fiscal year 25 impact aid application. Then to approve 3 resignations, followed by approval of 4 hirings. There is no need for a closed session at this board meeting, so then after the consent agenda, we will move into the regular action items on the agenda today. This includes approving the list of bills and checks and wires in the amount of $4,003,148.53. The board will then be asked to approve the 2022-2023 financial audit from Brady Marks. We will have Tracy Brueggemann from Brady Marks in Thief River Falls presenting virtually this audit report. Then the board will be asked to approve the 2023-2025 master agreement with Minnesota School Employees Association members, followed by approval of the American Indian Parent Advisory Committee resolution. We will need a signature from the chair of the board before the meeting, after the meeting. For that, we will then close out our action agenda by asking the board to amend policy 534 school meals, which has already had 2 readings. We will then move to miscellaneous items, which will include a first reading of the 24-25 master calendar. We will then adjourn our meeting. Miigwech.
English superintendent, oh, sorry,
Those
not
that
the
have-
board chair anymore. I'm a business management student and, sorry.
Approval of the agenda. Any motion to approve?
I'll motion.
Motion by Tom,
I'll second it.
second by Pemberton. Approve the agenda as presented. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Public comments and delegation.
Any visitors here?
Usual board chair, superintendent, yes. Yes. So, kichi go kay initially class, makwando din, palayang nagya itigam yo oli, Washington Palmer from California. Here, been here a long time, about 11 years, have a few kids enrolled in the, one in charter, one grown. But we come here today,
Nilikuwa makishage katika awali ngo wasisi odeni school kami usaka kini gani ni tuchwa. Igesi ni mwenda na bishkuli go gakuni ya maya igesi ni shishin masuchke na no abla ni
Honings ibis indigenous cause na kinafundu de misgodnews de zagaigening de winawan de noy magna quinchabawa de mo the kabukang dashka treasure umbige guan. My name is Ibu. I grew up in Minneapolis. My family's from here, and so I've been living up here now for 2 years.
so we come today, just to briefly, talk about, the ski team, Nordic ski team that was recently approved by the board here in the school district. To start, we did have some correspondence with, the coach, the assistant coach for the ski team here at the public school. We do have participants from the charter school also, as part of the ski team. We have about 9 charter and about 5, 6 with the school district. So between both of them, there's a nice sound team. There was an issue that did come up recently, and I'm just gonna read out loud an email from Tim to Dan Rogers, the coach. Just so we can touch on a little bit and bring up kind of the situation and what's going on, how we can move together and work together as a community with all of our kids, because kids at the charter, we do have siblings in the school district, so it's not a division. We're all in this community working together. So I want to lift that up. Tim Lutz sent an email saying, usually school districts do not allow charter school students to participate in sports and activities. Charter schools are public schools and receive funding from the state based upon their enrollment. Their enrollment takes funding away from school districts. Since charter schools are also public schools with funding from the state, they should use their own funding to develop programs for their students rather than relying on school districts to provide sports and activities for their students. That being said, I am not opposed to it, but usually such a decision includes charter school students is a decision made by the school board. You'll need to bring this to the school board for a decision, hence why we're here. So I do want to lift up that we are in partnership with the school district. This is our 2nd year in operation. only a year and a half, so we actually are working towards a lot of goals on really becoming sound. Part of our community collaboration in that is the school district provides busing by law, and we provides our meal service. With the partnership of the school district, we do heavily rely on our collaboration together, and working together and making things work for our kids. Another important issue brought up here is finances. We do have the ability to apply and receive funding to provide our own sports or after-school programming. However, money is really not the issue that we want to raise. It's more, why not work together and allow our kids to build that camaraderie. Our kids are going to graduate and then come into the Red Lake School District, either in middle school. We've had a lot come over last year back into the middle school, but most importantly into high school. So they'll build that camaraderie, and their relatives, they see each other outside the community, their cousins, their aunties, our young ones, their brothers, their sisters. And I think creating and setting the tone of division is not the direction Red Lake would like. It's all about community. We're all in it together. Let's support one another. Financially, I think it's not really the question. It's how do we work together and continue to build a healthy community in Red Lake?
Eu já agora na sala que digo aqui eu ia kami mo indan sina tipo mo achar que tem meio ele não me da sua intia kanishka siwaliwe you obviously just gonna ask more about with the more. So a long time ago, we can't forget that we have worked with the elders for a lot of years. There was a time when we spoke the language, and our own people didn't like the fact that they would call them savages or whatever, but they were trying to keep that language alive. And there was a division that was created. In that same regard, we want to keep our kids together, fluid. We don't want to create any type of division. So us as leaders have to show the kids that, because what we do is what the kids see. And we want to keep that going. And like they're saying, these kids, they may play basketball with us, be together, and then they'll be in the same high school and they'll have developed these friendships. So we want to keep, we service the same children. It's the overall arching message.
I just want to thank all of you for hearing us out today. For me, it's really important to see the friendships building. We've been driving our kids home after school at the moment because we weren't sure where it stood with the after school busing. But we have been getting them together to practice together, and I've already seen ones who know each other and get excited that there's other students that they're relatives with who are coming to the ski team. And so I just want to say, it makes a big difference, I think, for them to see, especially kind of bridging the gap between some of the older, middle school and some of the younger middle school students, because they're, building their relationships with these younger students in a team aspect that I think really is going to help build them, especially the older ones, up as leaders as they come up through the school district and come through our community. So yeah, really, really love to see our schools work together in partnership for stuff like this.
I know basketball season's coming up. And other things, we have a few basketball players up and coming that are really ballers. We just want to work together. Busing, like you said, transportation, we all need to work together to make sure our kids can jump on that 5 o'clock bus that's already available to Red Lake students. Make sure our kids get home also. So those are kind of things we want to lift up and bring to you all to kind of think about how we can continue to work together cohesively in a really good, impactful way for our students and really be those leaders and lead our kids into a future of leadership and camaraderie and sticking together. Oh, miigwech.
That's right.
Yep.
Thank you. And we got more.
Let's go next. Oh.
Okay.
Bonjour, everybody. My name is Raina Lishard. I got an email about the youth conference, and I've been trying to get a solid answer from somebody, but I did get an email response back from Tim that I would need to meet with the school principals, but I still haven't got that meeting, so that's why I'm here today. I'm just trying to get a date so we can start planning the conference. Cause I'm running out of time and people are starting to get booked.
And I think you gave 2 windows of opportunity, right? One in April, one in March? Is
Yeah.
that right?
But it's always the same answer every year. Well, there's during testing. I don't know when testing takes place. And I mentioned it when I first started planning the youth conferences. Is there a way that we can get on the school calendar for the year? So they know, so the school district knows when we have the youth conference. That way it's set in stone every year.
And one thing I had been mentioning, I think I did in the fall, at one of the prep council meetings, it'd be great if we could do this in the fall. Because then that sets the tone for the whole year.
I know, but the thing is,
Does that ever
why
work?
we get funding, we don't get our new funding till after the fall. That's why we do it that
Got
way.
it. That helps. Good to know.
Did you have it last year?
Huh?
And did you have it last year?
We had it around in March last year, but it was last minute. And I don't like running last minute for activities, especially a conference this big. Because, now the reason why is that I have other school districts messaging and asking when is the next youth conference, because the ultimate goal is to get our kids from around the area here.
Does it run all week or how many days?
Well, when I first started, it was 5 days. Now it's down to 2 days.
Like a Thursday, Friday, or in the middle of the
It
week?
could be a Thursday, Friday. I just need 2 days.
Yeah, we got it, the board got an email regarding the,
Yep, and Principal Shelley is here now. Maybe you can visit with her a little bit after the meeting.
Yeah, that's fine. It's
Come up with tentative, I mean, would that work or?
Yeah, I just got the testing information emailed to me today.
Is, fall time this
So we-
year an option?
We don't have to decide tonight, but we could.
The money ends, it's what's it called? A different physical year?
so it had to be before July 31st or something?
Yes.
You said.
I don't-
Cause we run through, the program that I operate has a calendar year, a state year, and a federal year. So I have 3 different sources of funding that I make sure that how we pay for the conference.
Does it have to be during the school day?
I would like, it's more participation during the school day. Cause
Remember,
we've done one in the evening before and it was kind of a low turnout.
Okay. I know in the past, I suggested that we do later in the year
Mhm.
because of the testing, you know, or school.
Yeah,
So it's kind of crucial to get these, you know, it's what we're judged by.
Yeah, and that's what I mentioned, is it possible, you know, when you do your school calendar,
Yeah.
is it possible to use
well,
conference 2 days?
What does Shelley have to say?
when we do the calendar, we don't know yet when the testing. Is. That's the problem. We have to, if it's gonna be in the spring and it conflicts with testing, that's a bad deal. But we can maybe do it earlier than we are now, if we can get that testing info. But Shelley, would you have time to meet briefly out in the hallway maybe and?
March
Yeah, we can, I mean,
25th or
we
April 1st?
just got the email on January 12th asking about meeting. And my response was, let me find out the testing, which we have a new testing coordinator this year. So I literally got the response back this morning. Of
So.
our testing windows.
Can it be in May too? In May? That's why I said we get different funding and it doesn't land during May and during September. So get it in like either by in January, we have so much time to spend.
If somebody else gonna ask you that. so much time to spend. Yeah, if you guys could connect real quick, then we could, get that nailed down and we even have to be part of the board meeting. If you wanna visit with Shelley, she'll show you the dates that we can work on. Maybe we can fit that.
It is something though that we should offer for our students and surrounding. So yes, I like the idea of adding it to the calendar, Raina. So you guys know this is your allotted time.
Yeah, be like, oh, well, they gave us this date, so I know.
Cause it takes a lot of time to plan and travel, get your presenters here and.
Yeah, especially if we want big presenters, that takes time. That's not a turnaround in like 2 months.
Yeah.
And why we haven't got the big presenters is just.
In a loop on whatever
Yeah.
you figure out. Appreciate all your work.
Yeah, thank you.
Raina. Any others? Oh, Emily.
Afternoon, school board.
I'm here on behalf of trying to get this downhill ski club back up and running, which Stella Fern had formerly been in charge of, but hasn't since her resignation. I think everybody got a handout. I have been asked since by several students if this was gonna be starting back up. And I have spoke to Luke, Mr. Zarley, and Nolan Desjarley, the sports director. I keep saying that wrong. But, I have yet to hear from Nolan. Nicole is in support. It won't be during school hours, it would be on the weekend, whether that being a Saturday or a Saturday and a Sunday. Busing was also part of that as well from the district. And I'm just respectfully asking that this be continued, and I would love to be in charge of running it. I asked that to be placed on the consent agenda.
For next month?
Yes.
Where do you think we would get the money for this?
I guess my thinking is because she's been doing this for decades, like, where did that money go? Why can't we just get this started back up? I mean, I don't know.
I think they have to raise their own money,
I don't know.
like working concessions and, you know, doing different amounts of things, but.
That's what Nolan had said, that the tradition had been to raise your own money, and towards the end, Mrs. Fern wasn't willing or able to do that. The bigger issue was liability to the district, was insurance costs related to students and staff members who might fall and hurt themselves or get a concussion. So we actually a couple of years ago moved it away and made it ineligible for clubs. So the recommendation now is that maybe instead of having it through the school, you go through the tribe and ask. The tribe has been very supportive of cross-country skiing.
And they have a trail system up.
Yep, so to have, see if the tribe would support some kind of activity for kids down here. School insurance makes it, it's liability is what I was told. It's one of the reasons it was taken away.
Even if there's, forms that, you know, help the school not be liable for injury that are signed off by parents and stuff.
They still would be liable though, because it's a school club. Not, you know, they could sign off that they wouldn't sue the district, but that's only as good as the paper it's written on. But we would still be liable in terms of an insurance cost if during a club activity, somebody had to go to the ER.
Isn't that something that Boys and Girls Club could do it in?
I'm digging for a business card, really, because I want you to come see me after this. And,
That'd be great, because I know that Stella did have a waiver that she had signed. So, I mean, I know that it was done through the school. Why it continued was because she resigned.
yeah, sounds like funding and the, like Lou said, the liability thing, which, you know, is a big thing, but, if there's a group of kids that wanna participate in an activity, you know, there's definitely options outside of the school district to make that happen, so, yeah, after this, if me, you could, talk, and maybe we could get an avenue going through the Boys and Girls Club.
Perfect.
Mhm.
All right,
There was a time when Stella had a lot of candy sales and stuff.
Yeah.
okay, yeah, I wasn't aware of all of that.
Yeah.
All right. All right, thank you for your time.
Thank you, Millie.
All right.
Any other?
Yeah.
Awesome, thank you.
Any other?
Anybody else? Any more visitors?
Nope, not for speaking. Chairman Barrett, if I could ask for one more addition to the consent agenda. And that is, we have a hire of Adam Eichstadt as a paraprofessional for the district.
So that's Jay.
That would be Jay, yep.
Yeah.
So instead of having 4 hires, we have 5.
name on it? Here.
So I didn't see his item in the back here.
Right, it came in just today, so there was no time, but
Adam
we
or Aaron?
need, it's Adam. We need his presence. Let me read it again here. Adam, yep, Adam, ADAM.
Hold the
Yep.
spot.
Adam, actually for a paraprofessional.
Mara.
Hiring for what?
Paraprofessional.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they added a J on A after the I.
Okay, yeah.
Adam Eichstadt. EICHSTADT.
EICH.
EICH, I'm just guessing, STADT.
Okay. Okay, ready.
Might be different.
Okay,
Wait,
well.
songs.
Okay, I don't know what I'm looking for.
Okay, consent agenda.
Motion?
No,
I was
move
gonna
to,
say, what about the consent agenda, Chairman Barrett?
Looking at,
move to approve.
Second.
Chris, you, okay. Okay, got a motion by Chris, second by Tom to approve the consent agenda as presented with the addition. Okay. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Action items, approve bills and waivers for the month of December 2023.
I'll move to approve.
Okay, a motion by Chris,
I'll second.
second by Permanent. Approve waiver transfers amount of $4,348,63. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Approve 2022-23 financial audit.
For this, I would like to introduce, you've already met her before in past years, Tracy Brueggemann from Brady March in Thief River Falls. Tracy has, I've been able to work with Tracy for a number of years when I was in Kellier too. So nice to see you again, Tracy. I'll let you have the floor.
Thank you. I'm hoping you guys have a copy of the audit report. I will take a few minutes and we'll run through the report. First, I'd like to just say thank you for hiring Brady Mertz. And I'd also like to thank your staff for their assistance. Can you hear me okay, Tim?
Just turning your volume up right now, so I think we're good now. Thank
Okay.
you.
Okay, so once again, just wanted to thank you for hiring Brady Mertz and also thank your staff for their assistance during our audit. On page 2 is the independent auditor's report. The district received an unmodified opinion, which is the same opinion the district received in the prior year. In our opinion, the financial statements present fairly in all material respects, the financial position and the changes in financial position in accordance with generally accepted accounting principles. On page 10 is a summary of the general fund's revenues and expenses compared to the prior year. The general fund revenue increased $3,867,504, and the general fund expense increased $9,108,082. On page 18 is the statement of revenues, expenditures, and changes in fund balance. The general fund balance decreased $2,028,081, and the fund balance at the end of the year was $23,910,624. On page 49 is the detail of the non-major governmental funds. The food service fund balance increased 15,531, and the fund balance at the end of the year was 22,108. The community service fund balance decreased 3,524, and the fund balance at the end of the year was 199,696. The building fund balance increased $18 and ended the year at 1,161. And the debt service fund balance decreased 5,963 and ended the year at 108,677. On page 50 is the schedule of changes in fund balance. And we will review the balance at the end of the year for the general fund. The non-spendable fund balance was 20,569. Student activity fund balance ended the year at 72,650. Scholarship fund balance was 6,760. Staff development ended the year at $9. Operating capital fund balance ended the year at 815,555. Learning and development fund balance ended the year at 0. State approved alternative programs fund balance ended the year at 209,314. Gifted and talented fund balance was 78,375. Achievement and integration balance ended the year at 0. Basic skills extended time fund balance was 275,426. LTFM had a deficit fund balance of 50,694. Medical assistance ended the year at 62,747. Impact aid fund balance 178,154. And the unassigned fund balance 22,241,759. On page 51 is our report on Minnesota legal compliance, and the results of our test disclosed no findings. On page 52 is our report on internal control over financial reporting and on compliance and other matters based on an audit performed in accordance with the government auditing standards. We reported one finding. The finding has been reported in the prior years. The district elected to have the auditors assist with the preparation of the financial statements, and we'd recommend that the district consider the additional risk of having auditors assist with the preparation, and as a compensating control, the district should establish an internal control policy to document the annual review. On page 54 is our report on compliance for each major federal program and on internal control over compliance required by uniform guidance. This year, we audited 3 programs. We audited the Child Nutrition Cluster, Education Stabilization Fund, and the Impact Aid. And in our opinion, the district complied in all material respects with the types of compliance requirements that could have a direct and material effect on the major programs. Those were the items I wanted to address in your report. Just one additional comment, and that is the district's fund balance policy is to maintain a minimum unassigned general fund balance of 3 months of operating expenditures. So 3 months of your operating expenditures is approximately $10,200,000. And the district's current unassigned general fund balance is $22,191,000. So as of June 30th, 2023, the district has met its fund balance policy. Any questions?
Turn that off, Jack.
Doesn't seem like there are any questions. Everything was presented clearly, right?
I don't have no questions.
Good news.
Yeah, it's good news.
Thank you.
You're
Same.
welcome.
Yep,
Thanks
thank
and
you.
have a
My
good day.
phone's ringing too. That was quick. Huh?
You didn't miss a single vote. Thanks. Great.
That covered me last week.
All right.
Okay, then we'll need a motion to approve.
I'll make a motion.
Ron.
Okay.
Second by Chris. Approve 2022-23 financial audit. Further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Approved 23-25 master agreement with Minnesota School Employees Association.
Miigwech Chair Barrett, I would refer you to page 321 in your board book. And the first document, I think, is this one here, which is a very nice, what we call red line summary of the items that were negotiated and that we are recommending we approve today. I'll go through them briefly here. Item number one, we changed some gender-specific language, which is a recommendation from MSBA and Minnesota. We changed words like he, she, his, her to they and their, or the employee or employees. Item number two was some housekeeping things that we did, which had to do with dues and how dues are reported. And again, basically dues, we just changed some language, some basic housekeeping items there on page 6. Section 2, sums deducted from salary. This is a reflection of a statutory change. The district basically is making deductions every 2 weeks now from paychecks and notifying the bargaining unit of that. And also by statute, the employer needs to report to the association the information on all employees, including additions, deletions, and status changes within the bargaining unit. So that language was added. Third item affects page 7 in the master agreement, and that's statutory also. And the gist of it is that the public employers like us must allow an exclusive representative, the field rep from the bargaining unit, to meet in person with newly hired employees without charge to leave time or pay time for up to 30 minutes within 30 calendar days of being hired. So it just gives union members a chance to meet with union reps, and that's statutory. The fourth item that was reflected in changes to the master agreement has to do with an update to Minnesota statutes regarding e-learning days, which may become moot anyway, because we're looking at getting rid of e-learning days next year because they're pretty much worthless, and a lot of schools are doing that in Minnesota. Changing language to meet the statute that a school district or charter school that declares an e-learning day must continue to pay the full wages for scheduled work hours and benefits of all employees for the duration of that e-learning day or period. They must be allowed to work from home to the extent practicable and assigned to work in an alternative location or be retained on an on-call basis for any potential need. So that language is in there and that reflects statute. Another item, item 5, page 12, under Article 4, Section 19, bus riding duties. We cleaned up some language. And it basically says now that employees voluntarily riding buses before or after their assigned shift will continue to receive their current rate of pay for all hours worked. Item 6, we increased pay from $175 to $187.50. those who want to be on a snow removal program stipend. And we also added that something similar to what we did with the board last meeting. Any unexcused absence will result in the loss of the stipend payment for the month the unexcused absence occurred. Don't want to pay people for not showing up, right? Item number 7, we made some minor adjustments having to do with the emergency safe and sick leave time. And that was just cleaning up some language there as defined by statute. Item 8 was an increase in from pay employees who have reached their maximum accumulation of sick leave days during the previous year and don't use all their sick leave days during the next year. It used to be they would receive $35 a day, but now we've changed the language based on their request to receive 65% of their current hourly rate of pay for all hours of those sick leave days not used. The 9th item of note is an attempt to limit leave without pay. And we agreed with the bargaining unit that changing the language to say that any employee may request to take leave without pay when all other leave is exhausted. Leave without pay will only be granted with prior written approval by the employee's supervisor. Superintendent or designee may provide additional days dependent on individual circumstance. So cleaning up some language there to encourage people as much as possible not to run out of all of their days of leave, you know. 10th item is a change in health insurance. The district shall pay $800 a month. That's up from $650.50. Item 11, we're including Juneteenth in the list of paid holidays. And then we also made a change where district is unable, you know, some of our 9-month hourly people were asking for an additional vacation day, which would have been where we would have had to report too many vacation days over 9 months and go beyond what we are allowed by statute. So in lieu of that, in order to give them something, we added 15 cents to every wage scale cell for the following 9-month employees: secretary 1, para 3, cook 1, cook 2, driver, guards, and liaison. So instead of giving them an extra day of vacation, we're giving them 15 cents an hour increase above and beyond the already requested increase, which should more or less compensate and be equal to about a day of vacation. So the 12th item under page 25, Article 12, General Provisions. When an employee has worked with the school district for 10 years and is laid off for lack of work, or resigns in good standing, or retires from the district, the employee will receive 100% of accumulated sick leave days as pay, figured on the employee's average daily pay when leaving the district. So we increased that. Just a couple items left. Item 13, reflected on page 26, Article 14. This aligns something that we did to align with teachers so that all employees now have this. The district's match to an employee's qualified 403B tax deferred annuity shall become available to an employee on the first day of employment in the district. That was one item change. Then we also increased the amounts. The district shall contribute $1 to the same annuity up to a $400 monthly maximum contribution. We increased that to $400. And then finally, the wage increase, we settled on for the first year, $1.30 per hour, second year, $1.20 per hour. So a nice little raise there. That was very much in line when they presented their request for an increase. That was very similar to where we were at as a district. So, and then we're working on an MOU that we haven't fully developed yet, but this will help us grow our own in terms of like allowing staff members currently working to have some time off to go to school if it's during the day. Educational leave hours to be available during the workday when classes are unavailable during non-working hours. People who work here can't always take classes at night. They're not available. Many classes are at 2 o'clock or 10 o'clock. But we will agree to a trial period to allow for possible modifications to see if we can help people have some leave time so they can go to school. Then I would refer you to this document, which is a financial summary of all of these changes in terms of language and dollars. And basically, I will direct you to the bottom right cell in this spreadsheet, which shows that the total increase of this agreement over 2 years is $1,171,828.53, or a total percentage increase of 11.79, which is a nice, healthy increase, and I'm pleased with it, and I trust that members are also pleased with that. So we present this to you for approval and ratification today.
I'll move to approve.
Second.
Okay. Second by Tom. Approve 23-25 master agreement. Further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay, American Indian Parent Advisory Committee resolution.
Thank you, Chairman Barrett. This is an item I would refer you to page 358 in board book. And this is something that you're probably all familiar with, that we have an Indian Ed Parent Committee Advisory. And every year, the district is required to have the committee pass a resolution either concurring or not concurring with what we are doing as a school district. And without reading the entire resolution, I would like to read a couple items here. Whereas the IPAC or APAC, however you pronounce it, is directly involved with and advises the school board and district staff on Indian education program planning. And whereas the American Indian Parent Advisory Committee develops and submits recommendations to the school board and the district staff pertaining to the needs of American Indian students. Therefore, be it resolved that the American Indian Parent Advisory Committee concurs. They agree that the school board and district are compliant with Minnesota statutes and that the school board and district are meeting the needs of American Indian students. We, the American Indian Parent Advisory Committee, issue a vote of concurrence or agreement. We attest that the school board and or district are compliant with statutes and that the board and district are meeting American Indian student needs. So basically, they are saying that they have a voice and that the district board and administration listens to the voice and they agree with what we're doing. So I present this to you to approve and ratify on our end of the.
I'll motion.
Okay, one motion by Tom.
Thank you.
Back to approve American Indian Parent Advisory Committee resolution. Further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Amend policy 534 school meals.
And I refer you to page 360 in board book, 2 pages after the last item. And as I've mentioned the last 2 times that we have discussed this for first and second readings, the only reason this is in our policy book is because it's required by statute, does not apply to us because all of our meals are free. But we need to prove it in order to remain compliant with MDE guidelines. I'll present it to you for approval.
I'll motion.
Okay, one motion by Tom,
I'll second.
second by Pemberton. To approve. Further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? First reading of school 24-25 school calendar.
And I refer you to the very last page in board book, 364. This is the first reading, so it won't need any action today, but it is very similar to last year's calendar, you know, when we find a calendar that works, we try to stick with it as much as possible. This is a bit more colorful because we've decided to add colors to make it a little easier to read. Wherever you see red, those are days that we have no school, they're holidays or days off. There are 4 green dates highlighted. Those are the last day of every quarter. And see that our quarters are pretty similar. In the green on the right there under notes, we have first quarter is 40 days, the second is 42, the next third quarter is 41, fourth quarter is 42. So each semester is 82 days or 83 days. And we always try to make them as equitable or equal as possible. We don't have one semester or quarter much longer or shorter than the others. And the one thing I want to say about this is a lot of districts, including us, are struggling because just like requirements for testing, the state puts other requirements on us from year to year. And with the new READ Act legislation, we are required to train teachers, at least elementary teachers this first year, by training them with 9 8-hour-long training modules. So that's going to mean that we're going to need to find time throughout the calendar. Sometimes it'll be in June or July or August, but we won't be able to get that all done in the summer. We're going to have a couple of days where we do some training during the school year. So one of those training dates is going to be during the last week in August, when we already have staff development. And we're looking at August 28th for that. And then we have November 1st as a staff development day. And we'll probably do some training on that day as well. And there may be, between now and our second reading, we may find out that we'll need to have a couple of half days, early outs or something like that to do additional training. But we're still waiting to try to get some word from the Department of Education on that. And it's possible that even after we do a second reading and we memorialize this calendar and make it official, that sometime in April or May, we may have to revisit this and adjust it by half a day or a day to meet the needs of this crazy statutory READ Act that we're required to do. So, but I present this today to you as a first reading. Again, it's very similar to last year, so not a lot of surprises or changes. Thank you.
Now you gotta add in the youth conference.
Yep, and it looks like they were meeting out there. I stepped out to listen in. It looks like that there will be a date probably towards the end of March where a Wednesday and a Thursday will work.
March 27th, 28th.
Yep, thank you.
Okay, anything, anybody?
Yes, I'd like to share, Chairman Barrett. I attended the MSBA Leadership Conference and I put my name in a hat and I ran for Northwest District number 12. So myself and Tyler Brecken from Wayne school board member, who is also a school board member of the year. So congratulations to him. But I got up there and I spoke in front of the crowd, which was about 30 people. I was the only Anishinaabe Kwe in the room. And I got up and did that. I nominated myself. It would have been great to have my constituents there to vote for me, but I was there representing us all. So I want to share that. And also I want to share that I'm excited for computer science and artificial intelligence to be offered here in our school district. Actually it'll be offered statewide, but that's up and coming. So I want to share that's important for our students to offer. Also, Tim mentioned the READ Act. So I attended classes on that, workshops. Another thing is constructtomorrow.org. Yep, .org. I would like to see a group of our high school students attend this workshop, which will be offered at Bemidji High School on April 24th. And what that is like construction, different things for our students to get involved in, like HVAC, plumbing, farming, just different kinds of things. And the time that they're closest to us is April 24th at Bemidji High School, and they are welcome surrounding school.
Just for high school kids or?
Yeah, we'd like to get 9, 10, we try to get even all the way through 12, but we want to get the younger group, you know, set a goal on what they want to do in life. Hopefully we can get more of our students to go right into secondary training, you know, HVAC, plumbing, whatever it is, construction management. So I sat in that class and I found it, all the classes that I attended were very, useful, and it was a great learning opportunity for me. I social network with all kinds of school board chairs, so that was wonderful, and we exchanged emails and phone numbers to discuss our issues, which are quite similar. Just really, I was active in the conference, and I'm encouraged. I was kind of jelly to see school boards going around as a group and wearing matching shirts. I wish Red Lake School Board could do that.
You'd stand out in red.
Huh?
You would stand out, yeah.
I was like, look at all this group and they're all in training together.
And I wish I could have been there when you were campaigning.
Yes.
In front of all these old white guys, but I was
Yes,
working with two other people preparing for our breakout session.
yeah, and congratulations to you for your breakout session
Yeah,
that
thank you.
presented in. But yes, I was out campaigning and I conversed with other school board members, because that's the only people that can vote is to be elected school board member. So I just want to share, you know, I put my name in a hat and I was out there. I didn't get selected, but that's okay. I'm okay with that.
Next year.
Yeah, just want to share, I'm a business management student, and this semester I'm studying project management and business law. Which,
Hey, what was that site you say, constructtomorrow.org?
yeah, it's called constructtomorrow.org. So if you click, and then you can, you know, see what they all have to offer and kind of get some insight and, you know, share with your students, you know, hopefully push them towards that way. And, you know, we need plumbers, we need, you know, guys that work on our propane systems, and, you know, we're struggling. And so we need to start doing things different, like say, go to these trainings together as a group and become a unified group. I feel like we're so divided. You know, I know me and Jack are not on the same page, and, you know, a lot of us are. And so I think we need to really take a look at ourselves and see how we are as a group. You know, I really got a lot from my leadership training that I've been taking and the college courses that I had. I just want to share some good.
Anybody else have anything?
I just wanted to touch base real quick. Last school board meeting, we had a discussion about the sound system in the gym. I said if the school didn't have the funds, I would reach out to travel programs. Talking with people at NLFX, the school is already on the task. Mike Brambrink is taking care of it.
Yep.
He said he's waiting on slow supply chains from NLFX, so just letting you guys know. There is something in motion.
Oh, yeah, that one guy that does, or that was doing the announcing, that was a nice system he had there.
Yeah,
It's only like, what do you say, $1,200?
I didn't ask him the price, but man, it sounded good.
Something like that cost, and
And then he can control it, he's controlling it right from the table. No running back like the old one, we used to have somebody up there in a locker up. So he's just there.
I thought that was amazing, and it wasn't that big. And to, you know, you can carry it in and out of it. So, I mean.
What about the weight room? I know we were looking for cardio machines in there. Any insight on that, Tom?
I contacted Nolan. I let him know that the Boys and Girls Club donation is ready to go whenever he picks out some equipment. And that was the thing that was brought up, was treadmill, elliptical kind of thing. So
Maybe with.
on some equipment. Ready to go.
Bridge. And I know we do have some of our previous alumni students that are willing to work with our students on a weightlifting program. You know, so Alexis and Rob, I know we get busy on that.
Is that gonna be strictly after school, or like you got a study hall or an hour? Can a kid go in there and use it, or you gotta be supervised?
Should be, liability wise, should be supervised, but it shouldn't take.
First go in there and.
And I'm willing to help out here.
Well, one of our employees will be back to work soon and one of our alumni should be graduating.
We might have to look into that later on, hiring a trainer to go in there, you know, for a few hours.
Yeah.
We have people on hand, you know, to do that. That's,
And that reminds me, you know, we've been getting a lot of good publicity here for Red Lake Schools, you know,
We're open for the community at night, or we didn't
no,
decide yet?
not yet. It would probably, Nolan's talking about sitting there and,
Yep.
keeping the place open and watching it himself for the community. But for the students, we want to utilize our staff. And, you know, they already have the training that needs to be done to be a weightlifting coach. There's 2 people, you know, that we have in mind that are lined up to start this, but we really need to take that seriously with our kids in the weightlifting.
I think it'll bring a lot of pride for our
Yeah,
kids and get them bigger, faster, stronger, so we can win.
Back to your publicity, could you please share more?
Yeah, oh, thank you. Just that it, between the electric school buses and this weight room and what Nike is doing with Nolan, there's been a lot of, positive things that are being brought up about Red Lake. And so it's really something to be proud of. And I hope that our kids are feeling some of that too, that, you know, there have been traditionally underserved for a number of years and now they're getting some things they deserve. So good news. And that's all I have.
I'm so sorry. I was just gonna say, is there anything
Yeah.
else that any other board members would like to share? Anything you guys been working on that you'd like to share with us? With the youth? Does anybody work on anything? I know Chris and Tom work a lot. How about the rest of you board members? What are you guys doing?
babysitting.
Okay,
I think it's in
Babysitting
school.
my great grandson.
Checked out. The new took me all over to school. Checked out the Indian studies program. That's, we're getting a good one. We need to put one together.
what?
wow.
The Indian studies, the canoes, you know,
Yeah.
then he was saying that they might have some money for a couple more teachers.
Just a matter of finding them, you know.
But if you guys are gonna visit the school, visit them one at a time.
Too big now?
always-
Lot of walking, huh?
Yeah, cause I went to the elementary first and all over that, and then I was just gonna stop in over here and then I run into Gnu and he walked me all over. Took my, by the time I was done, my hips were really sore. It took like 3 days for them to
Yeah,
quit
there's
hurting.
a lot of steps you can get in and these
I
two
didn't even
buildings.
checking that, I should have had checked my phone that day.
Yeah.
I was trying to get him at least 2 miles a day of walking.
Oh, one other thing for the basketball now, we're in Class A forever now, or
And we
they
are the
can't
Warriors,
take us away
we are the
now?
Warriors for life.
Can they? That's,
Well,
It's all enrollment based, right? So we,
Yep,
We get a big, huge jump in enrollment, all the immersion, you know, then maybe we'll, but I think we're okay for now because of the 100% meal.
once they change the rules, you know, so. Yep,
yeah, that should be the determining factor of it. That meal thing, you know what I mean? We should have never.
We should never, and that goes down to the principal of the building at that time. So, but we can't go backwards, we gotta go forward. And we gotta work together. That's one thing I'm trying to build is relationships with our school board members. That's one thing I learned at leadership training, and we all need to get along and work together. Even though we may not be friends out of here, but we gotta work together and come to consensus.
Yeah, but I also learned in a leadership, I think it was MSBA, they said, even if we don't always agree here, that's okay. It's okay. It's a sign of a healthy board. What, you know, to have that, you know, cause we're all different. Everybody here is different. We come from different backgrounds. We have different everything. And that's okay. One of the signs of a non-healthy board was a lot of 7-0 vote. You know what I mean? So it's okay. And we all just, you know, be committed here and we do our best to do what we were elected to do. You know, we all took that oath a couple of years ago and that's what we do. You know, people put us here. People trusted us enough to put us here. You know, so we gotta do what we said we're gonna do.
You know, that's why, you know, kind of to my constituents here, you know, that it's important to go to these trainings and be involved, and be a youth advocate. You know, I know you guys are used to doing things the way you've always done things, but times are changing and we need to change too. So, you know, I may not be popular for some of the things that I say, but that's okay. I need to say these things because we need to move forward. Language,
Okay, need a motion to adjourn.
a motion.
Somebody to adjourn.
Second.
Right, it's on.
Second, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Thank you, all of you, for watching the board meeting.
Time is it,
Have
Mike?
a good day.
3:26.